Welcome everybody to another Espo Swim Bike Run product review. Today we're going to talk about CeramicSpeed and several products on their product line. Here's the deal. A high percentage of pro athletes or triathletes and cyclists use CeramicSpeed somewhere on their bike. They seem to give out sponsorships to more people compared to any other product that I've seen. And I don't know exactly how their deal is structured though. Now, there's even more pros that use ceramic bearings and pulleys out there from other ceramic or other manufacturers too. CeramicSpeed is just the name that everybody knows. I'll throw a car example out right here, right now. You typically notice an increase in horsepower of your engine about in 15 horsepower increments. If you add a cool air intake, you get like 10 horsepower, but it's still too small to notice. Let's apply this to watts on a bicycle. So full CeramicSpeed will save you what's reported to be anywhere between 2 and 10 watts, depending on what source you read. That's a marginal gain that you can't even feel the boost, the saving from. And that comes with a pretty steep price tag for us. Those pros that will take those marginal gains all day long, but you have to remember, they're getting this for free and you aren't. So cycling parts tend to trickle down from pros to age groupers. That's the whole reason they sponsor athletes, so you'll want what they have. But that's just not going to happen with ceramic bearings and oversized pulleys. The price is far too high to see it as a worthwhile investment for such a marginal return. You know, maybe they'll become more ubiquitous if the prices in the industry go lower, but like we're talking about cut that in half at least. So one of the things that CeramicSpeed product reps have been saying in all their print interviews, that the way they hype their products is about the longevity of the product. You know, when I service my bike, I ask the mechanic working that day how many miles they can get. They think they can get out of the bearings, the bottom brackets, and the pulleys. You know, I always make sure to ask different guys every time, and I probably asked 8 to 10 different guys over the last 3 years since I've used CeramicSpeed, and just so I can get different answers to kind of get a general consensus about the lifespan of the product. And every mechanic I've talked to says they've yet to replace any CeramicSpeed parts, every single one of them. You know, I'm choosing to take that with a grain of salt because, again, it's not hugely popular with age groupers yet. They just don't have a lot of them. So I don't imagine mechanics seeing it, 10, 20 times a day like you would, normal parts. There might be a few a week, I'm guessing. I typically need to get my CeramicSpeed, all of it, relubed with about every 30 hours of riding time. And you'll know it's time because the pulleys will start to squeak. And their UFO chain coating is allegedly only good for like 200 miles at a time. Everyone has sticker shock with CeramicSpeed's prices, and it is pretty expensive, but I wanted to dive into this past the sticker price to see what the actual value of the product would be. And, I'm not in finance, or I'm not an economist. I'm a brain damaged architect that cycles and understands a little bit about math, although I can't do fractions anymore. So kind of why I don't work as an architect and I'm doing this. So to kind of lay out a scenario for you, one mechanic told me that you could probably get 50,000 miles out of your CeramicSpeed before you need to replace anything. And they said maybe even longer. They don't know. Again, remember, nobody said they've ever had to replace anything yet. So we'll use 50,000 miles as the only number that anybody gave us. You know, from doing my own general bike maintenance, I know that Shimano Dura-Ace pulley jockey wheels, I've had to replace them at roughly about 10,000 miles. They were done. Now those wheels go for $35. So, you know, if you get 50,000 miles out of CeramicSpeed, then you get 10,000 miles out of your Dura-Ace. That means 35 times 5, $175. So, you know, for that 50,000 mile span, I'd have to spend $269 for CeramicSpeed parts. So that price, that high price tag becomes a little bit easier to digest when you think of it in those terms. You know, and to give you a comparison about what some of the other ceramic bearing competitors offer, BB Infinite is $130 for their bearings. I mean, for their pulleys. Kogel is $112. C Bear Cycling is $69. You know, it's my personal opinion that ceramic bearings are all kind of the same wattage savage that you get. You know, that between that 2 and 10 watts, no matter which product you buy. And I haven't read or seen any research that would tell me any different from that assumption. You know, when I get ceramic bearings on my next bike, it's going to be a competitor to CeramicSpeed, just to save me a little bit extra money. Like if I did the pulleys again, I would get them from SLF Motion. Those are also actually a little bit more colorful than CeramicSpeeds. You know, and another thing to consider, like that 50,000 miles for replacement, right? That's a lot of miles to put on a bicycle. How many of you think you're gonna still have a bicycle that long? Over 10 years, that's 5,000 miles a year to get your 50,000, you know, which is about what I've done on a regular year. You know, most people won't keep that bike that long. So that kind of does change that balance of that gap of between what you're actually paying and what the investment is. You know, I haven't found any reports on this particular problem, but if you put the oversized pulley wheels on a bike with DI2, when it shifts, that derailleur pulley cage has a real strong jerk to it. But then again, I haven't seen any reports of its jerking, you know, hard enough to snap it off. I mean, the carbon fiber seems to be pretty strong, but if you watch it, it does have a strong jerk. I asked the owner of Podium Multisport about his thoughts on getting CeramicSpeed headset bearings. And he told me that if you're a person that sweats heavily, then it's a great idea to use these. If not, then it's not worth spending the money. So at the end of the day, what's my recommendation? Well, if you have disposable income to spend, then CeramicSpeed is a little nice luxury to have. You get a little bit, you know, you get a marginal gain out of it, but you just don't see the return that you would get from other upgrades you can make to your bike, like buying a new set of wheels. However, like if you put CeramicSpeed on your bike, you tend to have a smoother ride. My bottom bracket has felt smooth ever since I've done that, and it has never creaked in the last 3 years. And so that's one thing I noticed. And also, yeah, I would do that before you got any other ceramic part. Also, I replaced the bearings in my Zip Firecrest race wheels, and that seemed to even smooth things out further on race day. So I guess, you know, what I'm saying is if you've got the extra money, go ahead and spend it, you know, but don't expect to get too much out of it. So thank you again for joining me for another product review. Please do like, subscribe, click the little bell for notifications when I post new videos. Thanks again, guys. See you next time.